In the vast, endless expanse of a sun-scorched desert, where grains of sand shift with an almost sentient will and the horizon shimmers in a relentless dance of heat and light, an ancient mystery beckoned from a time long past. Beneath the blazing sky and amidst the whispering winds, the legend of the lost city of Aethel was etched into every battered rock and swirling dune, calling to those drawn by the allure of history and the promise of secrets lying hidden under the weight of centuries. This narrative unfolds with the solitary footsteps of a determined historian, whose quest for truth cuts through both the scorching heat and the web of enigmatic omens that envelope this forsaken land. The historian's journey began with a crumpled map and fragile parchments that carried cryptic symbols, faded lines, and indecipherable runes hinting at a colossal secret beneath the desert's surface. Every scrap of evidence had converged on one profound point: the existence of Aethel, a city swallowed by time and entropy, where legend spoke of treasures and curses intertwined in a bond of eternal mystery. As our solitary traveler set foot on the trembling sands, the very air seemed charged with the weight of a long-forgotten past. A past that, at any moment, could rise to reclaim what had been lost. With each cautious step, the historian absorbed the trance-like cadence of nature, the hiss of wind slicing through rocky crevices, the musical murmur of sand colliding, and an eerie silence that occasionally broke into the spectral songs of distant mirages. Staggering beneath the relentless glare of the midday sun, the historian encountered landscapes that defied simple description. The desert was not merely a barren wasteland but a living tapestry of undulating dunes, abruptly rising rocky outcrops, and hidden depressions where fragments of ancient pottery and relics whispered stories of civilizations long erased. In this unforgiving environment, every footprint told a tale, every shadow hinted at dangerous enigmas. As the day progressed, a subtle transformation took hold. The historian began to perceive inexplicable oddities, a whisper of voice carried by the wind, an unexpected glimmer in the distance resembling the silhouette of a forgotten gateway, and a palpable sense of being observed by forces unseen. These occurrences, delicate yet insistent, urged a deeper dive into an investigation that was quickly becoming a collision with the supernatural. The historian's mind, disciplined and analytical, strained to reconcile tangible facts with the nebulous phantasms that the desert conjured with both beauty and trepidation. Here in the shifting sands, where nature's raw power and ancient sorcery coexisted in uneasy partnership, every discovery became a puzzle piece in a greater narrative. The map's cryptic details led to labyrinthine patterns on the sand, trails that wound through veils of dust and light, converging at landmarks once revered by lost peoples. A solitary oasis glimmered in a rare, almost clandestine interlude of cool clarity, offering a temporary reprieve and a moment to reflect on the delicate balance between hope and despair. It was at this fragile waterhole that the historian, parched and contemplative, absorbed the significance of each auditory signal and every shifting shadow, realizing that the very environment was orchestrating a symphony of warnings. As twilight descended over the barren plains, the desert's vibrant hues melted into shades of indigo and charcoal, and the once familiar terrain transformed into a realm of mystique and foreboding. Star after star emerged in the velvet sky, each one a silent observer to the unfolding drama below. In that moment of transcendent beauty and latent danger, the historian sensed that light and dark were not mere opposites but coalescing forces that governed the fate of Aethel. The map's faded curves and enigmatic symbols began to reveal secrets that were as old as the desert winds themselves. The historian felt an almost imperceptible shift in time, a soft rupture in the fabric of reality where past, present, and a phantasmal future appeared to merge. Every gust of wind carried whispers laden with warnings, and every ripple of sand concealed the memory of ancient suffering, betrayal, and the rise and fall of mighty empires. The solitude of the desert amplified every internal monologue and every subtle heartbeat, bringing forth emotions that ranged from quiet determination to a profound, stirring trepidation of the unknown. The historian recalled tales passed down through oral traditions, stories that had once been dismissed as mere folklore but now took on a chilling clarity in the still of night. In these tales, the lost city of Aethel was both a sanctuary of ultimate knowledge and a prison for a malevolent spirit banished long ago. As the historian's eyes adjusted to the ghostly illumination of moonlight reflecting off the dunes, the realization dawned that the cursed echoes were not fictional embellishments but rather distress signals from an ancient, lurking terror. While the desert offered little comfort in the form of familiar landmarks and much even less guidance from the stars, it also provided subtle signposts that only those with a discerning and courageous heart could decipher. The historian noted how natural formations hinted at deliberate design, a peculiar arrangement of stones resembling ancient sigils, dunes that recurred with uncanny symmetry, and the faint outline of a probable structure, half devoured by the shifting sands yet unmistakable in its underlying geometry. Every feature within this seemingly random chaos was imbued with meaning, silently narrating a saga of ambition and downfall. Such clues, scattered like cryptic punctuation on a forgotten manuscript, demanded not only a scholarly mind but also a soul attuned to the whispers of destiny. Amid this interplay of nature and the supernatural, the historian discovered an unsettling truth. The desert was alive in a way that transcended simple existence. It could seduce visitors with splendid mirages, only to entrap them. In the labyrinth of its many moods, the ethereal landscapes would occasionally blur, transforming into spectral versions of their former selves, ghostly recesses that hinted at an era when Aethel stood as a vibrant center of art, science, and ritual. In one particularly vivid instance, the historian observed a gathering of dust swirling in an almost choreographed motion, mimicking the circling patterns of a long-lost ritual. The wind itself seemed to echo ancient incantations, inviting the onlooker to peer deeper into the abyss of time. Every element in this unforgiving environment was a storyteller, much like the historian, weaving narratives interlocked in passion, regret, and the inexorable march of fate. As the journey continued, the land's mystery deepened into realms of surreal wonder. The historian began to experience moments where the desert's illusions penetrated the veil of time, casting visions of a lost civilization that was as beautiful as it was dreadful. In one hallucination, or perhaps it was a genuine glimpse into a parallel reality, the historian saw magnificent arches and palatial structures emerging from beneath the dunes, their intricate carvings bathed in an unearthly glow. Under the light of twin moons, this vision was transient yet potent, leaving behind an indelible imprint on the heart and mind of the traveler. The encounter evoked a cocktail of emotions, awe intermingled with horror, exhilaration shadowed by dread, and an intense longing to unearth the truth even at the cost of confronting unspeakable perils. The historian's progress became marked by moments of profound introspection. In the silence of pre-dawn, seated on a ridge overlooking a sea of rippling sand, there came a time of reckoning. The historian's thoughts danced between scholarly rationality and the seductive pull of myth, a reminder that some enigmas defy the neat boundaries of conventional logic. It was during these hours that the historian recalled ancient writings that spoke of cosmic debts and eternal guardianship, reinforcing the idea that Aethel was not merely a relic to be studied and catalogued, but a living monument imbued with a wrath and a will of its own. Each revelation was like a shard of broken glass, each more dangerous than the last, threatening to cut the hand that reached out for forbidden wisdom. An undercurrent of omnipresent hostility gradually emerged as the historian neared the suspected location of the fabled city. The desert's quiet, once soothing in its lullabies of wind, now carried an edge, a sibilant murmur that echoed with intention and silent demands. Vibrations beneath the surface, as if the very ground was restless with impatient energy, grew steadily more insistent. In these moments, the historian felt as though the shifting sands were conspiring to ward off the intruder, to hide the memories of a civilizational triumph and its equally dramatic downfall. What initially appeared as a mere archaeological pursuit had now assumed the weight of a mythic confrontation, a collision course between mortal curiosity and ageless, primordial malice. An ancient ruin, half buried and almost indistinguishable from the landscape, eventually emerged from the shifting sands like a reluctant secret. Its vertices, etched by time and abrasion, lent an eerie clarity to the historian's purpose. The crumbling outlines of what might once have been a grand archway or stone gate hinted at rituals performed in honor of forgotten deities, serving as a tangible reminder that the path to Aethel was guarded by legacies both storied and sinister. Here, amidst falling debris and scattered relics, every stone seemed to vibrate with the resonance of untold incantations. The historian, acutely aware that the ruins themselves were warning signs, pressed on with a mounting fusion of caution and steadfast resolve. An insidious feeling of being followed, a watchful presence lurking just beyond the flicker of torchlight, reminded the seeker that ancient curses are not merely confined to fables, but actively shape the destiny of those who dare disturb them. In the solitude of that forsaken ruin, the boundaries between what was real and what belonged in the realm of nightmares began to blur seamlessly. The historian's meticulous observations merged with emergent perceptions. The exhalation of cold, unseen mists at unexpected intervals, delicate spirals of dust that shifted into recognizable patterns resembling arcane symbols, and the unmistakable aura of a presence that transcended time and reason. Every carefully recorded detail now breathed with its own life, a living chronicle of the forsaken city hidden beneath the swirling sands. It was as though the very area was an elaborate stage set for a drama written by the conjunction of human ambition and the inexorable furies of nature itself. As darkness fully claimed the desert, the historian felt both entranced and menaced by a retardation of light and shadow that conspired to reveal the city's secrets only to those prepared to bear its curses. Surrounded by silhouettes that mimicked ancient guards, the ruins became a portal between epochs, bridging a realm where visions of golden days of prosperity clashed with the ghastly specters of ruin and despair. The historian's heart pounded in time with the cadence of the wind, and in that pulsating moment, it was clear that the desert and the malevolent intelligence that dwelled within would reveal its truth only at the cost of relentless sacrifice and an indefatigable spirit. A slow, almost ritualistic procession of discovery ensued, as the historian methodically traced faded hieroglyphs carved into weathered stone, each symbol narrating a saga of loss, redemption, and eternal vigilance. The accuracy of these impressions shook the very fundamentals of known history, suggesting that what lay beneath was wrought not solely by human endeavor but by an ancient power that dictated destiny. With every step, the historian gathered fragments of a sprawling epic. The birth of a city once heralded as a beacon of knowledge, the gradual corruption by hubris, and the final, cataclysmic downfall that sealed its fate beneath merciless sands. These revelations, inscribed in the silent language of ruins and echoed in the sighs of the desert wind, were as astonishing as they were terrifying. It became evident that the lost city was much more than a relic. It was a crucible where the boundaries of mortal ambition and supernatural retribution merged into an immutable legacy. In the final hours before dawn, as the horizon blushed with the tentative brush of sunrise and the chill of night reluctantly yielded to a new day, the historian stood at the precipice of a discovery that threatened to unravel the known world. Every detail, the relentless patterns of the dunes, the spectral inscriptions on time-worn stone, and the omnipresent murmur of unseen watchers, wove together an intricate tapestry of fate and warning. The nocturnal phantoms that had haunted the journey seemed to coalesce into a single, undeniable truth. The lost city of Aethel was not merely a destination for scholarly inquiry. Instead, it represented the embodiment of an ancient pact, forged in the fires of ambition and tempered by an unyielding curse. In that fateful moment, the historian's soul was laid bare before the eternal forces that governed the land. The journey had been one of many sacrifices, rare glimpses of wonder intermingled with moments that chilled the heart to its core. In the endless, undulating desert, where the sands whispered endless secrets in the ruins, echoed with the voices of fallen empires, the historian embraced the dual nature of the quest, one of intellectual pursuit and one of metaphysical reckoning. The shadows of the past had risen to meet the gaze of the present, and beneath the shifting sands, truths as old as time itself revealed that human curiosity is often a double-edged sword, capable of igniting both the flame of discovery and the scourge of ancient retribution. Thus, weighed down by the burden of forbidden knowledge and guided by an unyielding spirit, the solitary seeker stepped forward into the incomprehensible void of history and myth, daring to confront the spectral guardians of Aethel and the malevolent force that had long guarded its secrets. In every grain of sand and every whisper on the wind lay a testament to a story of ambition, obsession, and survival, a narrative that would be etched into the annals of time, proving that even in the face of overwhelming darkness, the quest for truth remains an eternal, if perilous, journey.